Hey, welcome back. Yeah, I have more religious notes. I do feel bad for Vault if you're still watching. If you don't really like that stuff, sorry. That's like a lot of my life right now because I'm reading the Old Testament, I'm going to church all the time. Just been thinking about it a lot, I guess. But today I'll start out with a little funny anecdote. I'm so good at these. This is right. This is my. I struggle with the stupid anecdotes. I don't know how to tell stories. I just thought it was interesting. I got the vaccine, and I know what to do. You have to go to the left. There's a gnat in here. I think I just went the wrong way. I can restart. Sorry. Because I just saved. I'm supposed to go to the left. I'm so stupid. Okay. I was getting a shot, and the person was like, "You seem so tense." You know, just try to relax. That's weird. Is it supposed to be like that? Oh, I don't know where to go now. Okay, let's try this. Sorry, I'm figuring it out. And I got stressed because she was like, "Oh, you're so tense. Like, don't worry. It's just a shot. It's not going to hurt that much." And I'm like, "No, I'm tense because you're a person. I'm not tense because of this stupid shot. I know it doesn't hurt. I'm not worried about this shot. I'm not a baby. I'm just a social baby. I'm not a pain baby." I'm tense because, like, I didn't realize that I get like that. Or like I am like that or whatever. But I guess I am just always tense when I'm around people. It's like, "Oh, it's hard to give the shot if you're tense or something." That can't be true. It's just stick it in my arm. I think you just stick it in the muscle or something. I don't know. You don't have to find a vein, right? You just stick it in there. Why do I have to be relaxed? Like, ooh. Just put it in. Who cares? If I'm into it or not. Making me feel bad about my being tense. You're tense. Maybe you're the tense one. I'm very defensive about this. Uh-oh. How do I get back there? Why don't they want me to go back? Can I do this? Nope. Can I do this? Nope. I know where to go. I just have to get there. I never went this way. Let's explore. Maybe it's a save thing or something. Yeah. Oh, it's a map. So that's it. That's the anecdote. Getting a shot, I was tense. They thought it was because of the shot. No, it's just because you're people. So where's my note? It's kind of related to what I talked about last week. I guess that's why maybe I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I have to go there. Can you see it? Right there, where I'm pointing. See where I'm pointing? I have to go right there. I don't want to gossip like I said last week, but I want to talk about this. I'm on this text chain and I got some texts. I won't say who they were, but they were religious people, obviously. You will understand that from the context. So the text was basically saying pretty much what I was talking about last week with the watchmaker thing. Like, oh, if you came to a watch in a forest, then you know that someone made the watch. So if you come to a universe in a forest, you know that God made it, right? He phrased it differently. He was like, if a builder is proof of a building and a painting is proof of a painting, then how is a creator not proof of, or how is creation not proof of a creator? And I almost I think if they had texted me that on Saturday, I might have texted back, but I didn't text back. I just, I would have said something like, well, I'll be the devil's advocate here, because nobody else really did that. You were just kind of asking the question in a way like, well, he wasn't really inviting criticism. He was just like trying to make a point, even though he asked it in the form of a question. It wasn't really kind of a rhetorical question. But I would have been like, I'll play devil's advocate, literally. Because like I was saying last week, I don't like that trying to be like logic with God and be like, oh, see, God must exist because of logic and stuff, right? You can't do that. At least for me. I mean, if it helps you, then it helps you, and that's good. But it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for Pink Wave Gamer. They commented and they were like, I don't like it either. Should I not point out comments? I don't know. As long as I'm being nice, right? It's good. I'm not being like, oh, they're stupid. I liked the comment. How do I get up there? What? I'm going the wrong way again. Oh, kill me. This is what the text would have said. Something like this. Natural processes occur like rain without God, so the universe was nothing over an infinite amount of time. That's the explanation I've heard for. It's not a very nice thing to say. I don't like. It reminds me of that Ray. Now I'm stuck out here again. Why do they do this to me? That Ray guy, Comfort, who was like the banana thing. There's like an arrogance to the stupidity of it. Like, why are they so arrogant and also have so little to back it up? They're just like, oh, God must exist, and you must be a stupid idiot for not believing in God, because look at bananas. Like, that's all you have to do is look at bananas and you know God exists. No, I could think of so that's the thing that bothers me about that logic of, or that way of thinking, is like, that doesn't prove anything. How does that prove God exists? That doesn't make sense. I'm stuck in here. So I think what an atheist person might say, and I think it would be good for me to tell them, like, because nobody else really gave the non-religious perspective on the creation of the universe. Like, how could it exist without a creator? Because a lot of people believe that. And I don't know. I'm a Christian and I believe in God and everything, but sometimes the non-Christian explanation does make more sense to me. So this is the explanation that I've heard. Well, first of all, the creation of the universe was like a natural process, like everything else, like stars and black holes and planets. You don't, and like I said, like rain and thunder, like you don't need God for rain to exist. We know how rain happens. There's evaporation, there's condensation, then it falls, and then it evaporates again. You don't really need God to explain that natural process. You could say, well, God created the process, and I guess that's what I believe. But then you can also just say, well, can't creation be a natural process too? And that might be kind of... A lot of Christians would say, no, creation is... You can't have a creation without a creator, something to make it. You need a first thing. It can't just start from nothing. But the logic that I've heard to describe that is like, before the universe existed, there was nothing, which meant there was also no time. So creation had an infinite amount of time to be created. So maybe over an infinite amount of time, nothingness has a tendency to become something. An infinite amount of time is a long time. So maybe over an infinite amount of time, nothing can become something. That's how I've heard it. And we don't really know how that works. But just because we don't know how it works doesn't mean God did it, right? There was some natural process that created the universe out of nothing. And you're like, whoa, how did something be created out of nothing? But crazy stuff happens in the universe, right? Black holes are kind of crazy. I don't know. There could be some natural process that we just don't know or we don't understand yet that created the universe. So there's your explanation. You don't have to be like, oh, but if there's a creation, then maybe you're just stupid because you should believe in God. I don't know. I just don't like that when people talk like that. I understand why atheist people kind of hate those people because it's like, you're not smarter than me. You think you make one analogy or one metaphor like, well, if a building exists with a builder, then how could creation not exist without creation? Like, you're not smarter than physicists who have thought their whole life about this thing. I know as a Christian you're not really supposed to say that. You're not supposed to be like, oh, like you can be a Christian without being smart or whatever. Like, you don't need... A Christian will sometimes say like, oh, knowledge can take you away from God because you're not supposed to lean on your own understanding or whatever. But that doesn't. But then to have the arrogance to say like, well, you actually know the answer. That doesn't make sense because you're just doing what you're saying the other person shouldn't do, right? Lean not on your own understanding. That applies to God stuff too. Like, you don't know how God created the universe, so don't be arrogant and say like you know how it works. Because you don't. At least scientists are trying to figure it out. Maybe one day they will prove God did it. I have a feeling that probably... I don't know. I wonder if it's ever possible to prove like how the universe was created. It doesn't seem like, at least within the next like 1,000 years. How would you... We can have ideas about how it works, but the cool idea that I've heard is like the universe is kind of... We know how the universe is going to end, kind of. Well, we have theories about that. We don't know. Actually, this doesn't really make sense. One of the theories I think is that like the universe is expanding, but eventually it'll like shrink back into a point. Like there's a Big Bang, it expands, and then it shrinks back into the Big Bang point, and then at that point it expands again. So we're in the middle of one of those cycles. And when one of those cycles happen, obviously it erases everything that happened before it, so you can't know how many times it's happened. So maybe the universe has existed billions of times before, and it just keeps expanding and contracting. But for some reason, I feel like that's not the theory that most people believe now, which is I think that the universe will just keep expanding forever until everything cools. Particles and everything are so far apart that everything just, that's heat death, right? Everything just dies and there's no suns, everything's just black and cold in the whole universe. But then that kind of doesn't make sense with the expanding and contracting universe, right? Because it's not contracting, it's just expanding forever. I think before we understood like a little bit more about dark matter and dark energy, maybe we thought it would eventually contract, but now we're like, well, dark energy is pushing it away, and the universe is expanding and accelerating, so eventually 100 trillion years from now it'll everything will just be dead. Why did I bring that up? Oh, the text from church. I got way off on a tangent. Well, that's it for today. I wanted to fight that boss today. I'll get to him tomorrow. There's a boss. He's like a Volvagia type boss. He's like a little snake dragon. Did I explain it well? Like the whole natural process thing? Like that's what I probably would have tried to... I would have tried to be more succinct about it, but I would have tried to text them like, I can offer you like the naturalistic, atheistic point of view, kind of. Or maybe I got that wrong. Maybe an atheist watching could, if any atheists are watching, you could tell me how you would respond to that. Like, I know that would be a frustrating thing to hear, for sure. For someone to be like, well, if a builder is a building, then creation must be a creator, right? You would be like, no. That doesn't prove anything. You're just like doing a word analogy thing. That's not proof of God. And I didn't even go the right way. I thought it was gonna be here, but it's not. Whatever. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow and I'll fight that boss. Okay. Thanks. Bye.